Jenkin, often called Jenk, was the seventh of 10 children born to Richard Lloyd Jones and Mary Thomas James near Lansel, Wales. This area, known as the Black Spot of Unitarianism, had many Welsh Unitarian congregations. His family attended the Unitarian Church in Panty-de-Fade, and 9 of his uncles were Unitarian ministers. His father farmed, made hats, and occasionally conducted church services. When Jenk was a year old, his family moved to the United States and settled in Wisconsin, where they joined Richard's brother, Jenkin. Sadly, Uncle Jenkin died of malaria in 1846. Despite his death, Jenk always admired his uncle's bravery and was inspired by his memory. The Jones family faced many challenges in their new community. Although they joined the local church, their Unitarian beliefs caused tension. After a hearsay trial where the family defended their beliefs, they resigned from the congregation and began holding their own services. The family later moved to Spring Green in the Wisconsin River Valley. Despite attending the German Baptist Church, they were known locally as the God Almighty Joneses due to their strong religious convictions. Jenk was passionate about education and hated missing lessons to help on the farm. He loved reading newspapers and journals like the New York Tribune and the Atlantic. In 1862, Jenk joined the Union Army during the Civil War. He served as a private and fought in many battles, including Vicksburg and Atlanta. After breaking his foot, he had to walk with a cane for the rest of his life. His war experiences convinced him that people needed to find better ways to resolve conflicts, leading him to become a lifelong pacifist. After the war, Jenk felt a spiritual calling to become a minister. In 1866, he entered Meadville Theological School in Pennsylvania. Despite being academically unprepared, he quickly became a leader among his classmates and discussed new ideas about religion, social reform, and evolution. After graduating in 1870, Jenk married Susan Charlotte Barber. He was ordained as the minister of Liberal Christian Church in Winnetka, Illinois, but found the position limiting. He returned to Wisconsin to work as a traveling missionary, helping to establish Unitarian societies in several cities. As a preacher, Jenk gradually shifted from strictly Christian sermons to more educational and inspirational sermons. He also played a significant role in the Western Unitarian Conference, advocating for a decentralized structure and raising missionary funds. Building Unitarianism in the West became a passion for him. He became a leading promoter of Unitarianism throughout the West, traveling extensively to support local churches. He corresponded with candidates and helped fill vacant pulpits. His efforts earned him an affectionate nicknames like Bishop and the Lord's Chore Boy. In 1878, Jenk helped found the liberal religious weekly, Unity, which he edited for the rest of his life. Unity's principles were freedom, fellowship, and character, and it aimed to improve human life without basing fellowship on any doctrine. In 1882, Jenk moved to Chicago and gathered the remaining members of an almost extinct congregation, Fourth Unitarian Church. He reorganized it as All Souls Church, which grew rapidly. The congregation moved into a new building in 1886, combining a church, parsonage, school, and clubhouse. Jenk's dynamic preaching often drew in standing room only crowds. Jenk was deeply involved in various social reform movements and helped found several organizations, including the Chicago Peace Society and the Tower Hill Summer School of Literature and Religion. He supported women in the ministry and campaigned for women's suffrage. As General Secretary of the 1893 World Parliament of Religions, Jenk helped foster cooperation between different religious groups. He also joined the American Congress of Liberal Religion, aiming to create a progressive, inclusive religion. Jenk remained active in numerous associations and reform movements throughout his life. He continued to promote pacifism even during World War I, when it was unpopular to do so. Despite opposition, he stood firmly against the war, advocating for peace. Jenk's wife Susan died in 1911, and he remarried Edith Lagerstein in 1915. He continued his work until his health declined. In 1918, the Chicago postmaster prohibited the distribution of Unity through the mail, but Jenk successfully petitioned to lift that suspension. He passed away shortly after the first issue of Unity was printed after the suspension was lifted. Jenkin Lloyd Jones is buried in the churchyard of Unity Chapel. He is remembered as a dedicated Unitarian minister who tirelessly worked to promote peace, education, and social reform. If you want to learn more about Unitarian Universalists throughout history, please visit us at uuoftheweek.org.